So a lot of people ask us kind of why we're doing Sound Sanctuary and what it is. So I just thought I'd spend a few minutes just to kind of explain what it is really in a nutshell. Um, so Sound Sanctuary really started about from a series of conversations that Shab and I had. We talk about music all the time, obviously, because we work together very closely on Das Spécial. And Shab and I have quite different musical backgrounds. So he comes very much from a background of the sort of 90s sound system, counterculture, the kind of rave, underground dance scene, and that sort of collective experience, people coming together in that kind of dance experience. Whereas my background musically is more, I'm a singer-songwriter, and it's more acoustic folk, playing in venues a bit more intimate and reflective maybe, people coming together in a kind of songwriting, storytelling way. But when we talked about it, we realised the ethos, even though the music was different, is very similar. It really is about whether it's in a folk club or underground rave. It really was about humans connecting and sharing an experience together, a joyful expression of sound and creativity. And it was something we talked about that we thought is kind of getting lost along the way. There's so much sound out there and there's so much noise out there. A lot of it is quite bad quality and poorly produced. But, as a lot of people know and talk about today, digitally and with social media, we're kind of bombarded with content. But everybody's mental health and well-being seems to be going in the opposite direction. So Shab and I had interesting conversations about not music from a Das Spécial point of view, but making sound more intentional, with the idea of going back to quite a primitive response to how sound influences your creativity, how it resonates with you, how it can make you feel on quite a primal level. And so we're really lucky with Das Spécial. We work with amazing musicians, and one of our long-term collaborators and partners in crime for Das Spécial is Drew Morgan, who is a fantastic multi-instrumentalist and cellist, Royal Academy trained fellow who's amazing. So we worked with him and chatted to him and a neuroscientist to come up with some frequencies and sounds that we felt would introduce everyone to this idea of sound sanctuary and the way frequencies and sound can benefit you. So that's where it started from. Sound sanctuary, I suppose, as an entity. And from then on, Shab and I are always excited and interested in, I guess, creative chaos or creative exploration and experimenting. And so we had further conversations about, well, rather than just looking at how sound makes you feel, how can sound influence how you create? And we all know that a lot of people listen to music when they're creating or other artistic outputs to influence their art. So we started looking at how can sound sanctuary, frequencies and sounds, how do they make people feel? How do they influence what they create? How does playing it in an acoustic space such as AUB's drawing studio or a church or a museum, how does that change how the sound is experienced? And how does it feel when everyone is coming together in a live setting? And I think, personally for me, that's probably one of the parts of the projects I enjoy the most, is seeing it experienced by people in a live setting. I find it really sad. Again, we have conversations about music venues closing down and the lack of kind of creative community spaces in England that aren't being funded or are under-resourced. And I just feel very strongly that it's so important to have live spaces where people can come together creatively from all backgrounds and disciplines to try to express and connect together in a different, meaningful way. So really, yeah, that's what Sound Sanctuary is. And it comes from a passion, I guess, of mine and Sharp's to kind of explore creative expression in a different way to Das Spécial. So that's what it is.